Hello, all my dear students. I'm your educator, your mentor, Amit Ajmani, and I welcome you all to Sri Jendra Rank Zone classes. I hope you all are doing well and studying well. So, students, in today's class, we'll start up with the basics of writing. Now, writing is an integral part when it comes to English and the most important part, as we all are aware. So first of all, before starting up this writing, we need to relate what are the various basics that we need to take care of. What are the various things that we need to consider before starting our writing part. So this chapter is all about the basics of writing, and after doing this chapter, you as a learner will be able to understand the basic requirements of writing as to what exactly is required when we are writing something or when we are trying to write something. As a learner, you should be able to write appropriately and effectively. Your content should be appropriate and it should be effective, conveying the actual thing that you intend to do while writing. And you will be familiarized, you will be acquainted with the various styles of writing. What are the various styles in which we can or we should write? And you will realize the importance of learning the business writing. Normal, casual, informal writing is something different, but when it comes to business writing, we need to be a bit more concerned, bit more cautious, and we need to relate what we are including in our writing. The objective of this particular chapter, Basics of Writing, is to understand the need to develop the writing skills and to understand the various steps which are involved in writing, and whatever content we are including, we should be able to organize that content logically and systematically. We need to synchronize our thoughts. It should be in a particular flow that the reader should not feel as if there is something abrupt in between, which is not coherent, which is not related to the lines written above or the lines written below. And the objective is to learn strategies to organize our content. Very importantly, it will also enable us to comprehend the various styles of writing, and we will be able to realize the importance of learning the business writing. And after doing all these things, we will be able to write well in all the styles. Here, so let us start up with the basics of writing. Now, when we talk about any particular language, any language has four basic components. The first component is listening, right? We listen, we analyze, we comprehend, we relate the things, and after listening we are able to just reproduce it, or after learning what we have listened we are able to just repeat it, and then comes the speaking part, right? Then we speak out whatever we have learnt while listening. The third basic component is reading, and the fourth component is writing. So these are the four basic components of a language. Just try to relate yourself to a child. A child who is born, he grows up, and firstly he listens to the conversations around him or her, and then he tries to understand, he tries to relate, his mind works, and he then tries to repeat the sounds and the words which have been learned from the environment, right? So first part any particular person does is listening. And then, after trying to repeat the sounds in the words, the next step comes is learning to speak properly. Once again, relating to a child, after listening to all the conversations and the words spoken to him, he begins to recognize the alphabets and the words, and he speaks them. And when he is taught, then he starts to read. So after speaking, the reading part starts. Now, once the child has started reading, he is able to comprehend whatever he is reading, but still he has to learn to format, to synchronize, to arrange, and to represent his thoughts. So, the last skill which a person needs to master is that of writing. When we start writing, we always begin as a child from writing alphabets. After learning the alphabets, we arrange the alphabets and form words. Then, arranging these particular words together, we move on to form sentences. Arranging these sentences, we tend to make paragraphs. And doing these paragraphs, finally, we are able to produce complete written compositions on our own. And this is a very slow, very gradual process. It takes many years for any individual to master this particular skill. Fine. Now, out of these four basic components, writing is considered to be a very complex activity. Now, why exactly is writing such a complex activity? Because writing requires vast vocabulary. You have ideas, but you need to find words how to express your ideas. You also need to have knowledge of varied sentence structures, because if you are not able to arrange your ideas through words in a proper sequence, then in that case they won't be able to convey the exact message you want to convey. And obviously, we need to have correct grammatical usage. That is why writing is considered to be a very complex activity. We have to present the content, the expressions in a logical and a sequential manner. And that is one very important essential aspect of writing. And this is what we will try to learn. There are multiple areas of brain which needs to be used in creating the text. First of all, we need to create the text. We need to find the right words as per our memory, as per our vocabulary. Then we need to organize these words and these sentences sequentially, because whatever we are writing, it is meant for the readers. So they should make complete sense to the reader. If they fail to do so, the whole purpose of writing goes in vain. It seems futile, because whatever you wanted to convey, the reader could not comprehend the same way you wanted him to do. Clear? So that is why writing is considered to be a skill. And like all other skills, this skill also needs to be honed and developed. Why we should be so bothered, so concerned about writing? So many reasons for it. The first important reason is that writing is an important medium of communication, in which you are expressing your ideas, your opinions, and you are trying to exchange some information. Fine. It's not possible that every time you have a verbal discussion with someone. That is why writing comes into play. Also, because it is essential to content development and composing any kind of text. Writing is important because all the official and personal records are maintained in the written form for future evidence. Verbally, you won't have any kind of evidence of what is being said or what is being instructed. But if it is in written, you have an evidence. So that is why these records needs to be maintained. When we talk about creative writing brings to us the valuable fiction and non-fiction work in the form of novels or short stories, etc. This writing is also a source of earning a livelihood for many people, the writers and the poets and the novelists, the editors, all. They are actually able to earn their livelihood just because of their skill of writing. It is also important because writing down the ideas, they help in bringing the clarity to the thought process. Whenever you are thinking about something, your thoughts are actually messed up at times, and after certain time you tend to forget as to what all things you have thought. So it is always better to write them down. Written ideas, they will bring clarity to the thought which you are doing, the process which is going in your mind. Clear? Writing is again important because it is a means of saving information for later reference. And we see that in the libraries we have got so many thousands and millions of books which give us information and knowledge about all our past. So this is how we are able to do so. It is not practically possible to transfer this information verbally in the form of stories. So that is also why writing is such an important part. Writing creates a permanent documentation which is available for ready reference anytime. They may be in the form of any textbooks or financial statements or the minutes of the meetings, etc. Just try to imagine a situation where a particular accountant is being asked about the sales or the amount of purchase or the profit earned or the comparative study of the past 2 3 years or the expenses incurred. How is it possible for a particular person to remember all these things? It is not practically possible. So that is why things are written, and the moment you are going to ask any particular question, that accountant, that person is just going to take a minute's break. He will just go bring out that particular place where he has just written all those things, open it up, and he can read it out for you. Fine. So that is why writing becomes so important. Also because knowledge creation and propagation of that knowledge, it happens largely through carefully documented research procedures and their outcomes. Writing plays a very important role in official communication. Writing is the most used form of official communication because unless until something is in written, it doesn't have any kind of authenticity or reliability. Clear? So, because of all these reasons, more and more companies are looking for people with good communication skills. Fine. So that is why writing becomes so important, and that is why we are trying to learn the basics of accounting so that we should also be able to reach that level where writing helps us in all these above things. Now let us start up with what are the various steps for writing. If you want to write something, how exactly you are going to do it step by step. Now this is very important. Please try to understand and try to relate. For writing process, the very first thing that we need to do is we need to select a topic on which we are about to write. Here we are not talking about just a story writing or a novel writing or any script of the movies. No. It may be the minutes of the meeting. It may be about any particular given topic. So first of all, we need to relate the topic. We need to select the topic what exactly we are writing about. The selection may be made by anyone. You may be asked by a teacher to write something in your examination, or by a manager, being the employee of the company. You can be asked by the manager to write about something, about the minutes of the meeting, about the event that took place, about any particular forecasting that is going to happen, about any thesis, anything, or by the writer himself or herself. So, selecting a topic, knowing about a topic, having an idea, a theme, any issue, or any subject matter which is clearly stated is the first requisite of writing. You need to have a subject on which you will be writing, because without that, you won't be able to write even a single sentence. Now, once you are given an idea, a subject, a theme, then you need to do this second process of brainstorming. Now, what exactly is brainstorming? You have to use your brain, you have to have the brain working for you. You know the topic on which you are going to write, then the moment you know it, there are so many random thoughts, so many ideas, so many information related to that particular topic that starts building up in your mind, right? For example, if you are supposed to write on crime, then there are so many things that will be circling around in your mind. If you are about to write about pollution, so many things that you have already written about pollution till now, right? So there are many sentences, many ideas that start initiating in your mind. And if you are lack of ideas, you can also search for the ideas. You can search for the content which is related to the topic, and the sources may be many. Now, once you think about something or you search something, make sure that you note down all the points that come up in your mind, or you note down all the relevant points that you encounter while you are searching for the content. Now you have the ideas, the points, the thoughts, all are there, but at the moment they are random. So the next step we need to do is we need to organize our content. This is the framework on which your written work will stand. So first of all, what you are required to do is you need to make a list of the main points and the main sub points that you wish to include. Because when you were thinking, there were so many points that emerged, that got initiated in your mind. You noted them down, but after noting them, now you are able to comprehend better that which points need to be included and which may be excluded. So first of all, we need to make a clear selection as to what all things, what all main subpoints we want to be included in our writing. Rest all should be excluded. Now we have got the relevant important points that we consider should be there in our writing. After that, what we will do is we will put all the subject matter that can be included in that point under the subheading, because we have already got a lot of subject matter. We have got the main subpoints, we can subdivide, and we can now start putting these subject matter ideas into those relevant points. Once it is done, we need to decide the sequence or the order of the points. This is what exactly is called synchronization. We need to decide that these thoughts, these sub-points, in which order they should appear, and this is what exactly is the main part of organizing the content. Because once again, I repeat, the main thing is the flow should come in a smooth manner. Nowhere in our writing the reader should stop suddenly and abruptly because of any change in thought. Right? And for organizing this data and in order to decide the sequence, we can create a diagram or an outline which helps us to organize our ideas appropriately. Now there are certain graphic examples that you may use in order to create these diagrams. The first ones are the ray diagrams. This is quite normally used. We write the main topic in the circle, like this is the main circle, and all the related characteristics or add all the related features we just write at the end of the lines. Right. For example, if we are saying any particular topic, let us try to relate it with the help of an example. If I am trying to say any disease, like I am saying cancer, so I will write this cancer here, and what all are the possible reasons for this cancer are the associated related characteristics. It may be because of genetic problem, it may be because of any infection, it may be because of tobacco, it may be because of alcohol, it may be because of any abnormality, so many reasons for it. So all these related things I can write like this. So this is a normal ray diagram presentation through which we can just try to pen down and we can try to note down the ideas and the related characteristics to that particular idea or concept or main sub point. The second way is again very normally and usually used. It is the sequential form. We can just list the sequence in which we want to present the content. Once again, for example, we are given any particular topic, so we can simply write that if I am talking about cancer, I can sequence down what are the causes of cancer, what are the effects of cancer, what are the symptoms of cancer, what is the treatment of cancer, and what exactly are the precautionary measures that we need to take. So this is the sequence in which I want to present my content. Now once I have done it, I know that all the related causes I will put up in this first paragraph. Then I will write all the effects and the impacts. Then I will write all the symptoms, then all the various treatments that are being coming in my mind, and all the precautions that need to be taken. So this is a kind of sequential form in which we can actually list down the content. Clear? Now the third way is we can also do in the form of comparison and contrast. If we are given the similarities and dissimilarities of a particular thing, if we are given the advantages and disadvantages of a particular thing, we can just separate them up in different columns. For example, if I am asked to write about media, if I am asked to write about mobile phones, if I am asked to write about science, if I am asked to write about technology, there are certain advantages and certain disadvantages that are associated with all of these topics. So in that case, I can simply relate the advantages all in one side that are coming in my mind and disadvantages on the other side. Similarly, if we are talking about any particular such topic in which we find various similarities and various dissimilarities, there also we can just differentiate all the similarities, the things alike are kept and noted down under one head, and all the dissimilarities are noted in the other side, right? So this is how we can also note down the ideas so that we should be able to relate, and then we should be able to present it in a better way. Another way of noting down is problem and solution form. you can state the problem or the problems and the recommendations to solve it or to solve them. For example, a problem, this is the solution. Again, a problem, this is the solution. This is how also we can note down depending upon the topic. Next, quite normal and most widely used way is cause and effect. This is quite normally it is used in our day-to-day writing also, that we need to state the cause of a situation and we can state its various effects separately, right? Simply here we can put up the cause of a particular thing and then how exactly it affects, how many effects it has got. Similarly, another situation and related to that we have got different aspects, right? Now, all these things, when we are doing it, this basically is very helpful. Why? Because this diagrammatic presentation, it brings a great deal of clarity in the organization of content. We are crystal clear as to what, how we can use this information and how to present it. Fine. Now, after organizing your thoughts in whichever way you have done, whether it is the problem or solution form, or in the form of like and dislike form, or the cause and effect form, whichever form, right? After organizing your thoughts, now you will start writing, because this is what exactly we were asked to do. This is what exactly is the purpose of doing all the above three steps. So this is the most important step. You have selected an idea or a topic about writing. You have had the content, all the topics, the ideas in your mind. You have organized the ideas in your written form, in any form. But after doing all these things, what exactly needs to be done? We need to write. Fine. So when we are writing it, now we have the ideas, we have the sequence in which we are going to present the ideas, but we need to relate very important few things. Now, what are these things? The vocabulary, the choice of words that we are making in order to express our views and ideas. We need to have an interesting beginning of the article, so that it needs to create an interest in the readers right from the beginning. Then we need proper framing of suitable sentences, and if there is any separate thought being conveyed, then division of paragraphs is also required, because this is going to make the reader go from first paragraph to the next paragraph, and he knows that there is a change of thought. We can also include the anecdotes and the dialogues also in order to make our writing more effective. We can use illustrations and examples related to the topic which we are writing. Once again, it also adds up to our writing. We need to decide whether our written content makes an impact on our readers or not, because we are writing it for our readers, and if it fails to impact our readers, if it fails to create an impression on our readers, if it fails to convey the message that we want to convey, in that case all is useless, right? Now when we are doing it, we need to practice. It is a skill we have studied above, that this needs to be honed, this needs to be developed, right? So it is a time consuming and laborious task. Initially, you need to learn. If you want to learn how to fly an aeroplane, it's just not that in the very first day and in the very first hour, you will sit in the cockpit and you will learn and you will start flying. No, step by step you need to go. It consumes a lot of time, it consumes a lot of efforts, and you need to have patience. But once you learn it, there is a training program. you need to practice on a daily basis. And once you learn how to do it throughout your life, you will never forget it. This is what happens with writing also. This is what happens with English also. That initially, if you are not that much skillful, it's a new skill that you are learning and acquiring. You need to give time, you need to have patience, you need to make efforts, because there will be so many times you will write something but you will not find it appropriate, you will delete it and you will rewrite it. Fine. So after that, the final product will be ready. So you need to first of all get your full satisfaction, that you are satisfied with the way you are presenting. Many a times your own spirit is going to, your internal self is going to just trying to prevent some idea because you don't like it much. Let it be. Don't write it forcefully just for the sake of writing when you yourself are not satisfied. It will take time initially, but once you learn the process, after that you will feel that the things have become much more simpler and easier. Now, all these things after doing, you have ultimately achieved what was desired of you. You have written, but do not go before revising the written part. You need to revise what you have written, because even after so much of care, there may be certain times and certain areas where you have made or committed some kind of mistake. So revising is important and it is must. Now this is one of the most common error that students tend to do, that number one, they do not revise their work before submitting. And secondly, the moment you finish writing, you start revising. Now, this is an error. Why? Because your mind is already having all these points. So, the moment you start revising just after finishing, you are not able to actually differentiate and take out your errors. So, for this, what you need to do is just give yourself a break before you revise your text. Why so? Because this will give you a fresh perspective and an enhanced ability to notice the errors. And after revising and noticing the errors, at this stage, you can add or delete the content. You can reorganize your matter and you can improve your certain sections of your work. Now, I'm not saying that giving a break means that you go to sleep for half an hour or watch television for half an hour and come back. How is it possible while you are giving your exam? So, in that case, giving a break means actually attempt the next question. Do the next question, because now your mind is involved in thinking about that question. After completing the next question, then come back to the previous one to revise it, because now you will be able to have a fresh perspective and an enhanced ability. Now you can notice a few errors on your own, provided you are carefully revising it, not casually looking at it or going through with your eyes. Got it? And after revising, your text is ready now. Make sure that you have the provision for editing and proofreading. Once your text is ready, you need to proofread it for the any errors of spelling or grammar or punctuation or sentence structure. You need to check out for any of these errors, and you need to get it done with somebody else, not of course for the examination, but normal writing, business writing, when we are talking about this, can be done by you or by an expert in the field when you are doing it practically for some business or official purposes, right? And then your text is ready to be published and ready for printing, because now after doing all the above steps, your final document is ready. So you can confidently send it for printing, or you can put it on any website for readers, or you can use it as a resource document. So these are the various steps that we need to follow while we are writing something. Fine. Now there are various styles of writing. Every writer, whoever he or she is, they have his or her own style of writing, and their style of writing reflect their mood, their tone, their perspective, their personality, and the purpose, the objective for which they are writing that particular piece, right? However, we categorize all the styles of writing into four main types. What are these? Let us try to read. First is the expository style. Second is the persuasive or argumentative style. Third is the descriptive style. And fourth is the narrative style. So all the various styles of writing have been categorized into these four main types: expository, persuasive or argumentative, descriptive, and narrative. We'll be studying about all these four styles of writing one by one in detail independently, not in this class, in the next class. In the next class, I'll be teaching about the details of these four main types of writing as to how we present our thoughts in all these four styles. Got it? So in today's class, just as it is, we are going to end up here only. In this class, we learnt about the importance of writing and what are the major four components of language, why writing is important, and what are the various things you need to make sure before writing anything, whether it is for your exams or any further thing in your practical life or any business or official or communication. Anything you want to write, you need to make sure of the above four steps. And the various styles of writing, the names only we have read in today's class: expository, persuasive and augmentative, descriptive and narrative. We'll be studying in detail in the next class about all these. Got it? Please reconsider, I'm repeating again, reconsider these 7 points, because this is very, very important when you are going to write. These 7 points, they are very important. Selecting an idea, then brainstorming about it, noting the points, organizing your content in the various formats, start writing, revise it, write it, and then proofread it. Clear? And then only get it ready for publication or printing. Clear? So we'll meet you in the next class with the styles of writing. Till then, take care of yourself, guys, and have a very happy day. Enjoy yourself.